Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a Christmas card using the Snowman Hug from Rachelle Anne Miller. Now this digital stamp is just so cute. I scrolled through her site looking for some more Christmas digital stamps and I came onto this one and it's adorable. This image is just one of the cutest scenes I have ever seen. I also love the fact that you have like these images by Rachelle Anne Miller that are perfect without adding anything more. I don't have fancy programs to add different digital stamps on top of one another and stuff, and I think you can definitely do it with a Word. It should be possible, but I just am not there yet. I didn't figure it out yet, and well, I could look it up, but time is flying by so quickly and I just prefer creating, and these digital stamps give you a perfect scene without anything more. You don't need anything more. It's perfect. I said perfect way too many times now. So, that being acknowledged, the coloring. You know why I'm starting with this. Starting with the face, with the hair, which is really limited on this image, but these are the hardest things for me to do, so I decided to start with that and then I just continue with all the rest. So I was trying to figure out which colors I wanted to use, and I love BGs to create snow with it or to give a snowman color. I think it's really adorable, but of course other light colors can work as well, even purples. I'm convinced of that. Well, every color you want to use is possible, you know? So I'm just doing some flicking. I'm not going to color this snowman completely in. I want to have it white, but then this BG will give me the shadow that I want. You know, it's going to sort of replicate shadows. Is that the right word? No, but I cannot figure it out at this moment. I know what I want to say, but okay, you know what I mean. Well, you have been here on my channel for so long already, some of you. So from time to time, the words are just... I'm just drawing a blank. That being said, I'm just flicking everywhere. I am doing the shadows on both sides because it's facing right towards us, so that means that the back is in the back. So I'm using on the left and right side the shadows. For the little human that is on the left of the snowman, I am going to add the shadows on the left side because the back of that person is on the left side. So that's the whole reasoning behind my shadowing today, just checking out how the image is facing. Okay? So doing the flicking again, but this time a slightly lighter marker to have it easier with going into the white. So the fade out, the lighter your final marker is, the easier normally you will get that fade into white idea. But if not, like me, I wasn't completely happy with it, you can always take your colorless blender and just go from the white area into the colored area and fade it out a bit more with that. So that's what I did, and then areas where I wanted to have it a bit more, the blues, I just flicked again. And that's how I did it. Now for, is this a pajama or like a snowsuit? Both can work, but for the suit or the clothing in this case, I decided to do an orangey yellow. I love this combination with the BGs. I think it's spectacular. It's really bright, it's festive, it's warm, it's everything we need. So I did that. I didn't mind about the details because, well, I think it goes like this perfectly. And I just made sure that I like the blend, that I like the shadowing, and of course this is Transotype perfect coloring paper where I printed this on. I'm using a laser printer lately. I had a inkjet, but that one died on me after 8 years, so it did his job. Now I bought the laser to be sure of all the possibilities with digital stamps. But I got some questions about which printer I'm using. I'm using a laser. It's a Canon laser printer. It's quite a big one. I didn't thought it was going to be that big, so I don't think that everyone needs that one. I can leave it in the description box if I don't forget it. But again, there are cheaper ones, there are smaller ones, but I just really needed it quickly because I'm on a digital design team. And well, it died on me just when I was going to start with the coloring of last month, I think, of the images of last month. So I needed a quick fix, and that's why I really quickly bought the first and cheapest laser printer available, but the cheapest one wasn't available, you know? So I can leave it down below, but definitely check out cheaper laser printers. Another thing, I had an inkjet which was perfect for my Copic coloring. I cannot talk about the watercoloring. I have had people say that it's perfect for watercoloring as well, but personally I never tried because there were also people that were saying that it didn't work for watercoloring, and I'm just not that kind of person that likes to test things out. I want to go for it and I don't want to restart. So that's why I avoided doing the watercoloring, and I'm really sorry that I cannot talk about my own experience with inkjet and watercoloring. I cannot, but again, some people are convinced, others are not, so I will just leave that up to you. You can always try if you have an inkjet, always, before a new printer. Printers are not cheap, so personally, try whatever you have. If it's not working and you really think that you are going to do digitals continuously or really a lot of the time, then it might be worth the investment. But first check out what you have. That being said, now I have a laser printer and I tried also the watercoloring and that works. Okay, so I can say that for my laser printer it works. But if you're looking for a printer that is good, that is maybe cheaper, there are so many YouTube videos out there that are also talking about which printer they have. Again, I don't think I'm a genius or an expert in the digital fronts. I'm just using these images. I'm limiting myself to Rachelle Anne Miller at this moment because, as I said, it's a scene. You don't need to add things. You don't need to have a fancy program or being super intellectual with digital well, apps and stuff. So that's why I love this. But I'm definitely not a digital stamps expert. But I love what I'm doing. I love what I'm showing here. I love this digital stamp. I already said love way too much again. But as you can see here, I'm just continuing with the BGs. I have the same colors of accessories. I first thought of doing yellow on the accessories of the snowman, but then with the suit or the clothing of the little human, I thought that the balance wasn't there yet to also use yellow on the snowman. So just to balance it out, I decided to use the blues again. Okay, so I also went a bit inside of those details of the ear thingies of the snowman. I am not going to use my colorless blender for that because it's really tiny, and in this case I think it's really handy to have a white jelly roll pen to help you if you want those details to be white. I will do it later on. Okay, so then here, the background. The small little tiny background that I have here being the snow underneath the snowman and the cute tiny human. I'm the worst. I really thought that I was making it so ugly, and then I remembered that one of the design team members, and I cannot recall at this moment, but definitely check out the design team members and their inspiration because they are geniuses. They use this dotting method of Copic markers without already coloring with the markers, what I did already, but well, to soften it out, I decided to add those dots, and the more I added, the more I was starting to like it again, because really I am the worst at making my own backgrounds with Copics. Even when I have just the snow to do, I can mess it up. The dotting really helped me. And then I tried to fade out the background that I sort of did with my colorless blender a bit more, using my heat gun to dry this faster, and then I could go back in with the colorless blender if I wanted to, and adding some more dots, you know. And after all the work I did on the snow with the colorless blender, I finally was happy with it. So then we can continue with the card making of this. I know it's a lot of coloring, but I think it can be really helpful for some of you to show the coloring. And as for me, some of you also mentioned that it's a sort of therapeutic thing to watch the coloring, so I'm really glad that it's like that for you as well. For the card itself, I am using the Card Front Element Builder 2 from SugarPea Designs, which is a really cute A2 sized die that will leave dotting details on the edges, and I love it. It's a bit different from the stitching, but the elegancy is perfect. Like, I love it. And then for the sentiment, I decided to use this Sending You Hugs from My Favorite Things, but only the hugs. And I first thought of doing it with just white cardstock. That didn't work. I ink blended on it. That didn't work. So I just took my white paper like always and did some ink blending, trying to mimic the yellow that I had for the clothing. Now, taking my time on this, and then I thought maybe I can add Christmas hugs or winter hugs, but I didn't do it in the end, because I think either way, if you're not using it at this moment, you can leave it like this. If you want to make it extra personal, if it's maybe it can be birthday hugs as well, or sending hugs, or anything like that, you can always add it if you want it on the card front. If you don't want it, you can use this card for birthday, for Christmas, for winter, Happy Meal, by just leaving it as is, like I did, and then just write happy birthday on the inside. I don't get it. Sometimes I'm thinking I need to add happy birthday, and then I'm like, no, Happy Meal can be for any occasion, but also for birthday cards, for example, and just leaving it open to use it on whatever you need. It's just handy. So as you saw, I had some extra layers in the back of my pocket from the Sending You Hugs. I'm just adding 2 more layers behind each of the letters, and then I'm going to add this word on top of my panel. So using some liquid glue, like that, and then I'm going to use that negative that you can still see. Also this negative, if you would cut it out perfectly rectangle, perfectly spaced, you can use the negative as well as a sentiment, and just ink blend a bit on this one or behind it, or use a pattern paper behind it. Many options. But I slightly, well, I cut it slightly crooked, so not usable. But I used it as my guide to inlay the hugs to get it perfect placement. So just using some liquid glue, and then we are going to inlay all of these pieces like a puzzle. I love doing this, by the way. I think it's really satisfying. I hate peeling off the negative, however, because sometimes you have the liquid glue that is oozing from underneath, or well, you're lifting up maybe the letters again, so that's what I don't like about it, but we will survive. It's all worth it. And once that is on there, I'm going to add this panel onto a card base, just using some adhesive roller. And then we are going to finish this card by adding glossy accents. Yes, where? On the hugs, of course. I used a new bottle for this one, and I ruined it on the first letter. So just really quickly fixing that, I'm using my craft knife to help me lift up that glossy accents. If you're really quick, that's really easy to do. And then I just filled up all of these letters with the glossy accents, really taking my time this time on the edges. I know I sped it up, so it looks like really crazy fast, but it's not like that in reality. So once the glossy accents is on there, I decided to fix those dots as I said previously, just adding my white jelly roll pen to really have those white details. And then this card is completely finished. This is it. Really, really cute digital stamp. I love it. It's the Snowman Hug from Rachelle Anne Miller. So I definitely recommend it. It's adorable for Christmas, for winter, for birthday cards, for Happy Mail. Anything goes. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate it. I want to thank you all. I want to wish you all an incredible day, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!